I think it's very important. Let me tell you, I had my education in Lesotho, you see, from high school and so on. Lesotho used to be a British colony. So even then, I was a student there. And then I taught at the university in Lesotho. There was no African Studies department at the University of Lesotho. I mean, it would have been an amazing thing to have an African Studies department. Why? Because the whole of that university is an African Studies institution. You see that? When we learned literature, it was African literature at the University of Lesotho. And there would be a department or a unit of English literature, a unit of African American literature. In other words, students still came across other literatures. There was even a unit that taught Russian literature. Yeah, you see that? In other words, literatures of the world, if students continue to have contact with those. But the core of the literature course was African literature, you see? Because it's an African university, it was important that students learn about themselves and then about the world as well. It was the same thing in economics. Theories come from all over the world, from the West, from the East, from the Chinese, from the Russians. We learned all those theories, but their application were towards solving the problems of Lesotho. You see that? In other words, decolonizing education does not mean that you are saying that the world does not exist, we must only learn things from. You see, we learn about the world, but the focus is on us and on how we solve the problems, our problems. You see, using all the skills and all the theories that theorists all over the world have come up with, and developing those theories and applying them in our own situation. You see, here, in fact, is something different altogether. I was surprised. You see, that universities here pretend to be some English university. You see, and things that you learn here are not only just Eurocentric, they are mostly British, and all that. Then there might be some little African literature department somewhere, Then there will even be an African Studies department. Then you ask yourself, African Studies department, what is the rest of the university studying then if it's not studying Africa? You see, that's the point. Anyway, he's the one who's a university lecturer. Yeah. He's the one who should be answering this. Because me, I'm just a writer. I used to teach at university though, but not anymore.
Yeah, fortunately, I work at a brand new university. Our university is 3 years old, and our programs are new. We're studying these things from the ground. And the program that I'm setting up is MA in creative writing in African languages. Now, this is extremely important because creative writing MAs are largely taught in English across the country, followed by Afrikaans. If you are writing in Zulu or Setswana and so on, you might be accommodated. See, and this is an African country, 45 million people who live here.
I might add that the University of the Western Cape is Afrikaans, English, and is it Xhosa? Being taught there by Cindy Weber.
Yes.
The creative writing is it Xhosa?
Yeah. See, and so 45 million people who live in this country are black, they speak these languages, and a lot of people produce literature in these languages. And it's, when I did my MA, I wanted to write my novel in Setswana, I did not get that opportunity. Among other things, decolonization includes getting that opportunity when you're a Setswana novelist to write a creative writing MA or creative writing PhD in the language in which you write. Should not be forced to write English short stories, English novels, and be assessed on that when you've been producing literature in another language. See? So that's language is one of the things. Secondly is the reading list. So you find that the reading list, so much of it is books from America, books from the UK, and then you ask the university about it and you're told that no, we're introducing you to the world. But the world is not these two countries. See, the world is not America and the UK. The world is South America too. The world is West Africa. The world is the Caribbean islands, and so on and so forth. So the reading list is extremely important. So I'm talking about the program that I'm part of, that I'm setting up. So I don't know what my colleagues are doing. I'm focusing on that one specifically because at least there I can take responsibility and say, crucify me, I did something wrong there or not, you know. So later on you can say, well, you said you're coming up with an Afrocentric or Africa-centric program, and it looks as Eurocentric as the one from UCT or elsewhere.